let's do it.
John, I got to ask you about that last play and what you saw and how Trayon was able to hit that shot.
Yeah, we got one-on-one coverage a little bit. We had some shell defense around him, and you just give him credit for the shot that he made with a contest from behind by Spencer. So good shot. Give him credit.
And when you look at this game, you talked about challenging the guys. You guys were down by 18. You were able to kind of chip away at that. What worked well that allowed you guys to get back into that game? And you said that this team needs to get to know each other more.
Yeah.
What did you learn about this group?
Well, that was a little bit of my message at the end of the game is I think we solved some problems or a little bit. We got a few answers tonight. We'll continue to get more answers as we go forward. I thought we were more physical and aggressive in our defensive stance and how we put our hands on people. We were just more aggressive at the end of the day, and that allowed us to get some stops and get out in transition and get some really good looks from the field. But it all started with our defensive stance.
And those three-pointers, you know, when they weren't falling in that fourth quarter, you had, you know, Dorian Finney-Smith knock one down, Cam Johnson, and then you had that big one by Cam Johnson towards the end to tie it up. What changed that allowed you guys to see those three start to fall?
Yeah, we just really encouraged the guys and you know, told them that the shots that we had earlier that we were missing, really good looks. And so they're going to come around again, just continue to do what you've been doing. Really trust that you're making the right play, and we got rewarded for it down the stretch. And I think that's a really big mental hurdle for this group, which was a positive, seeing our group be able to stay together, you know, get through that stretch of the game and still, you know, reward each other by spraying the ball and getting good shots.
You guys were down 8 with about 120 left. Able to tie with that Cam corner three. Which means the way you guys were kind of able to make the most of that crunch time and stay in the game up until that Trey shot.
Yeah, it's great to see our end-of-game execution. We kind of held on to our timeouts a little bit. We trapped and forced them into our early shot. We got an offensive rebound. We were able to do some offense and defensive substitution at the end, which was good. So that was something that was good to see our group have a little bit of poise at the end, make some shots during that stretch, and really be on the same page during that stretch.
Just tough shooting start for Spencer. Obviously finished strong. I mean, I think most of his early shots were jump shots. Just given how elite he is at getting the basket, would you like to see that even out a bit more? Or do you not much of a problem with the shot selection?
Yeah, I totally trust him as he starts to feel the group out, who he's on the floor with. I think tonight, you know, we really streamlined the rotation a little bit, who he was out there with. So he'll get a balance of when he can attack. I think you saw with the dunk tonight his ability to get to the rim with some aggression and ferocity. So love seeing that. But at the same time, he has the skill and ability to make shots for us also.
Talked about the guys, you know, mentality and getting rewarded, I guess, when you were defending better and so forth down the stretch. I'm curious, I mean, this lineup is, I think, 1-4 basically since you've had this iteration of your team. Where's their headspace now just in terms of morale and, you know, their mindset in that locker room?
Yeah, great challenge. It's a part of basketball, and where you can't feel sorry about yourself. We are playing this game for a living. So first of all, let's put things in perspective. And I think at the end of the day, I'm not going to give them excuses about this being a new group and this is only their fourth or fifth time playing together and the lack of practice and all that stuff. People, you can hold on to that. I'm not going to mention that to the group, not going to give that to the group. What we have to do is continue to stay together and believe that we can get it done. And so that's the mental hurdle for this group. I thought tonight that we did not give in the second half, even though we were down by double digits. We still persevered towards the end of the game. So those signs were good to see us solve some problems with some of the plays that got us early in the game, that didn't get us late in the game, the talk that was on the bench. So those things, for me, Brian, that's what I'm looking for, because I think that mentality, that care factor will eventually put us in a position where we're winning games. At the end of the day, that's what we want to do. I do see some problems being solved along the way, which is going to help us.
I know you had a stretch where in the beginning of the game, I think were given like 57% shooting when you guys were down 18. You touched on the physicality aspect of it.
Yeah.
But was there anything tactically, either in the way you were playing or in rotations or what have you, that you did that allowed you to, I think, hold them like, I don't know, like 4-19 or 4-20 in that run to get back into the game?
Yeah, you know, there's slips and to the rim really gave us some problems earlier. So we didn't count on DeJounte shooting 2 threes that he ended up making, or John Collins hitting 2 threes that he ended up making. So those are just part of the game. But that happened a little bit with their ability to peel, and for us to, if you don't have aggressiveness when guys are slipping, you'll cause confusion. And so maybe Bogdanovich gets a 3 because of that. And so then I think we were able to see it on film a little bit, talk about it, and see how important it is for us to be physical as a group. Now, challenge tonight because we played, limited guys a lot of minutes. And so now can you continue to play physical and aggressive and play and have stamina? So those are the mental things we will continue to put these guys through, because I think you got to go through it to get to the other side.
How impressive was it to see, because coming off of Friday night, you mentioned how this is not going to be a one-man show team, and you look at tonight's game where you had, Cam and McKell lead the charge in that first quarter, then you had Cam Thomas in that second, and then you had Royce O'Neal, and everyone followed through with that in the fourth. How impressive was it to see these guys come together to see that balance?
Yeah, it's great to we talked about it in film, is the ability for us to really play for each other and create for each other and believe in how we're going to play. And we talked about it's got to be collectively, the ability on both ends. So even Dorian's drive at the end, he could have turned the corner and shot a 2 or a floater, and he gets it to Cam Johnson. So that ability to continue to do it over and over again, to believe in the game plan and stay with it, I thought our guys really grew tonight from that.
Considering after the trade, your personnel before the trade was obviously heavy, tilted offense and star power and all that. Considering the lineup that you're putting out there and the way the roster is constituted, you have defensive players. It's a little surprising when you look since the trade and the defensive numbers have been worse than the offensive numbers. Do you have any kind of thought as to why that would be? One would think it might be the other way around.
Yeah, I think our guys are getting used to, we talked about the offensive terminology. There's a defensive terminology also. And when you've been raised in a system like the 2 kids from Phoenix, they've been raised in that system, that's all they know. So the terminology is different. My communication is different with them. What we're trying to accomplish is different. And it just doesn't happen in 5 games like that. The other 2 are coming from a different organization too, where some of their switches were different than ours, the way we do them, the ability to keep it in front, why we do them. So it's still explaining the why to our guys right now, and I think it's going to click. I believe it's going to click, but there is a space where you talk about offensive terminology. There's some defensive terminology and some scheme-wise that we're still getting the grasp of.
Is your switching, you guys are not a drop team. I know you do a lot of red end and whatnot, but is your defense more, I don't want to say out of filter, or more different, I guess, than what the NBA norm is than your offense? Is that a fair statement?
I think, everyone is a little nuanced, and what you're trying to accomplish out of it. And I think those conversations will continue with the guys, our new guys. But it's every defense is a little nuanced. I think we still are trying to get a hold of what we're trying to get accomplished. But it was good to see us adjust in the second half and really grab onto what we're trying to do as a defensive team.
Thanks, guys.
All right. You got it.